it's Chicken. Today we're going to talk about the moon. But before we talk about the moon, we're going to talk a little bit about the sun, because they're related. So, you've probably noticed this yourself, that the sun moves across the sky. It's not always in the same place. So in the morning, it's in the east, and it's low down on the horizon, and it rises up over the course of the day, goes higher and higher across the sky. At lunchtime, it's pretty much right overhead. Then all afternoon, it goes down until it sets behind the horizon in the west. And then it's nighttime, and we all go to sleep. Just kidding. And the reason that I know it rises in the east isn't just because someone told me, but I used my compass. And see that tiny little E right there? That E stands for east. And this tiny little W over here stands for west. And when I'm holding the compass, that's east and that's west. And that's how I know that's how the sun moves. Well, guess what? The moon does the same thing. It rises in the east and it sets in the west. So, the best way to find the moon, to see it with your own two eyes, is first to get a good sense of how the sun moves across the sky in your neighborhood. Like, maybe there's a certain park you can stand in and you can see the whole path of the sun across the sky. Or maybe you're lucky and you can see it out your window. Like, I'm pretty lucky I can look east and see the East River, look west and see the West River, see the Hudson River, and that whole path from east to west, I can see a lot of it, at least in the summertime when the sun is higher in the sky. So if I look out my window, I can see the moon too, because the moon drives down the same road as the sun. If you wanted to call that path that the sun takes across the sky, if you wanted to call that a road, because why not? You can call it what you want, you're in charge here. The moon drives down that same road. So once you know where to find the sun in the sky, either here, or here, or here, or here, you'll find the moon in the same place. The thing that makes it a little trickier is that you never know when you're going to see the moon. Sometimes it even rises during the daytime. So sometimes you'll look up and you'll see the moon during the daytime. Sometimes it's at night. It totally depends. That's why it's so important to know where to look. So look along that path every time you get a chance to go outside or look out the window. Look along that road that the sun drives on, and maybe you'll see the moon. But the other thing that's so tricky and interesting about the moon is it doesn't always look the same. The sun is always round and bright. There might be clouds in front of it, or a chicken in front of it. Just kidding. But the sun is always round and bright. It's not the same with the moon. Here, I'm going to show you. So let's pretend it's nighttime. I'm so excited I got to stay up. Let's pretend it's nighttime. And sometimes the moon is going to look like that. Round. That's what we call a full moon. But sometimes it's going to look like that. I always say that's a fingernail moon, but what grown-ups call it is a crescent moon. Sometimes it looks like that. Or that. Have you ever seen a moon looking like that? Sometimes it looks like that. Or that. Or that. Or that. Or that. And sometimes you don't see it at all. So that's what's so cool about the moon. It can look all those different ways. But the thing to keep in mind is that it rises in the east and sets in the west. So every time you go outside, take a look along that pathway, along that road, whether it's day or night, and see if you can see the moon. And remember, it might look all those different ways. So these are the things to keep in mind about the moon while you're trying to find it. The moon rises in the east and sets in the west. What does that remind you of? Does that sound like the sun? Yes, because they both do it. That means if you know where to find the sun in the sky, that's where you should look to find the moon. Not at the same time, but just along that same pathway or road. That means the moon travels along the same path as the sun. You can see the moon during the daytime or the nighttime. Some people think you can only see the moon at night. It's not true. You can see it during the day too. You just have to really have your noticing eyes turned on to notice it. Because in the nighttime it's more obvious because it's so bright. But during the day you might see it too. The moon changes shape. Sometimes it looks like a crescent, which I call a fingernail. Doesn't it look like a fingernail? But grown-ups call it a crescent. Sometimes it looks like a circle, like that. That's what's called a full moon. When it's big and round and bright, that's called a full moon. And sometimes you won't see it at all. It gets to be such a tiny little crescent and then poof, it just disappears. So anyway, have fun looking for the moon. I can't wait to hear about what you see.